Hi guys, welcome to my first nail tutorial of 2020. For this series I'm going to be combining my love of nail art with my background in jewellery and silversmithing to show you how to create nail enhancements that look as though they've been carved from semi-precious stones. So for today's episode we're going to try and recreate Moss Agate. So to make this effect I used Nixxi attraction acrylic system, which included the monomer, and I used acrylic powders in colours soft white and crystal clear. I also used Halo non-white gel top coat, all of which can be found at www.nailtechnetwork.co.uk, and if you add the code Nixxi at checkout you'll even get a cheeky little discount. Now my top secret ingredient to this effect is this stuff. This is Premier Coarse Grass in dark green, which is made by a company called Javis, who supply products for model railway enthusiasts. So this would be used for creating grass on the sort of the scenery and landscape for model railways. So I think I picked this up on eBay, but if you can't get hold of this, then a matte green glitter would be a good substitute. So the acrylic system I'm using today is Nixxi Attraction, and this is soft white, which is a new discovery for me. Until now, if I was doing a ombre French on a client, I'd normally mix my own colour with like several parts clear, several parts white, but this one comes ready-made and it is spot on. So we're going to start by just doing quite thin wet base onto the whole of the nail plate. So the reason we need it quite wet is because we're going to use our acrylic brush to pick up a small amount of this grass dust. I don't even know what you call it, to be honest. And we're going to kind of push it into the acrylic at a 45-degree angle and then sort of partially encapsulate it by smoothing the acrylic over it slightly. That probably makes absolutely no sense, but you can kind of see what I'm doing. So once the base is down, it's a case of just building it up in layers really. So I'm going to carry on using the soft white acrylic, taking small beads, picking up the grass stuff and placing it onto the nail and blending it slightly. Even though the pattern on Moss Agate looks quite random, there are a few little patterns in there, sort of like fluffy branches and kind of a bit like broccoli some bits. So I did have pictures next to me so I could copy some of the little textures into it, so it just looked more realistic than if I was sort of making it up completely as I went along. At this stage I'm pretty happy with how it's looking, but it's very lumpy bumpy. So the last stage would be to encapsulate in clear acrylic and then buff it and file it. So before I do that I just want to sort of tidy up any areas, add a few more bits of green. Some areas I want them to be slightly darker, so I'm going to do the same process, but rather than attaching the green pieces with white acrylic I'm going to use crystal clear. So once I'm happy with the layout of the green pieces, I'm going to cap the whole nail in clear acrylic, just to even out any deep pits and dents in the surface of the nail. But it doesn't have to be too neat because we want to be able to file and buff the surface and reveal some of those layers that we've put in with the green and the white. This will just give it more of a three-dimensional effect and make it look more real. So the final step is just to give it a nice coat of Halo no white top coat, and I think the final effect looks pretty cool. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you have any requests for further tutorials please feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll see what I can do. Thanks for watching.